MRM for a number of years now. My background is sort of split between community work, development work, and also corporate work. And wherever I go in corporate, they always tell me, this one, she's coming with the community. I literally, I'm known as the person that is going to champion the community, and I don't mind that being how I am described. Because fundamentally, it's here, I think, in this room, and in all the different provinces in rooms similar to this, that the real work gets done. So my name is Tracy Leewell, and I've recently joined MRM to come and assist in really just figuring out how we can scale up the work that we do so that the work that we do becomes an undeniable gem in public sector. And the work that we also do begins to find resonance in other spaces that we may not have been able to venture into before. So as Ntati Seth mentioned, the MRM we want is really a reflection of what I call starting with the end in mind. And it really gives us a sense of what we need to focus on as a team, and our team is all over the country. All 9 provinces, including national, we have representation. All of us collectively, we're working on building this MRM that we want. In fact, being an MRM feels a bit like a legacy project. I thought it's important to also share what Ntati Seth mentioned, the fact that DSAC has an improvement plan for us, which is great. It means that we are on their hearts, we are on their shoulders. They consider us, they think of us. And as you can see, they made 5 recommendations after multiple engagements at a time when I wasn't there. But there was the recommendation 1 that said, let's develop a PPP model with strong stakeholder engagements to raise resources, to plan together, to implement and to evaluate. This triple P model, they want us to have ready by next year in March. And what we thought to do is, let's create this business plan. Let's workshop this business plan with all the provinces, and let's see how can we do ourselves. And then when we get into this triple P plan, we're coming with from understanding. The second recommendation is, it's the realization that since COVID, whether you want to or whether you didn't want to, but everything is now digital. So one of the quicker ways in which we can scale up our impact is by becoming more digital. And that shouldn't be something that scares us, it should be something that excites us. But because we all come from different walks of life, and some of us were around when the internet still made that noise when you connected. Who remembers when the internet made that noise? When you dialed up that and then boom, it's online. And now we can make phone calls on the phone, on a video to someone on the other side of the world. So everything has happened in order for it to be easier for us to be able to scale up our digitization project. So how are we going to sensitize society at large? Because we can only get so much done one-on-one. We can only have so many people in a room. How do we expand that impact? It's by using digital networks. The third recommendation from DSAC was that we look at multi-sectoral and a multi-faceted sustainable model. We, in our business plan, took a little bit of a stab at how we could potentially look at various co-funding strategies. But again, they've given us until next year. So let's see what we can do. I'm one of those doers. let's see what we can do, and then we present from our experience, and it will be enhanced then by next year. The 4th and 5th one look very similar. The fourth one is about having an integrated resource model. And then the 5th one is about being able to then monitor and evaluate the efficacy of our work. But we have challenges. We have big challenges. And I think first and foremost, let's acknowledge that resource constraints is a challenge. We work with organizations, and I'm speaking as MRM, and I'm here, I'm a worker bee. You know, we at MRM, we work with big principles, big organizations, but we're not constituted in the same way as our colleagues are. And we have to realize that. So first and foremost, we have resource constraints. We could, as a suggestion, because I don't just like proposing a negative, I like proposing a positive, we could prioritize the creation of a definite plan to acquire resources. We could decentralize to some effect some of our efforts and loosen up some of the control, but provide still strong and strict governance. We could fundraise throughout the year rather than just when we need it, or just a month before the program starts, right? We could approach a more longer term view to fundraising. In fact, I know for a fact that a lot of partners like seeing a longer term dimension in terms of partnership. If they see, oh, this is not just a once-off thing, there's 2, 3, 4, 5 years worth of work, partners are more likely to work with us. Seek out equitable partners. And what is an equitable partner? It's a partner whom we can share our challenges with. So we can say, you know, we're all sitting in the room together, but we're not all the same. We all have different and unique challenges. And colleagues, the time is up for us to take advantage of people's kindness and generosity. And I'm talking now specifically to our civil society organizations, who do a lot with very little. So we need to start speaking up as MRM for our civil society partners and look at equitable partners. And then we need to look at structured volunteering. Volunteering, that's the secret sauce. I volunteer about 18 hours a week on top of what I do to bring in income. I volunteer 18 hours a week because that's what I promised myself I would do. I will work for the next 50 years of my career in making this country great again. Not in a MAGA way, but and in fact, we can ask ourselves, when has the country ever been great for us? It hasn't. But we have that opportunity. And I think structuring the secret sauce, which is people, that is what is going to be one of the forgotten resources that we need to think of. There isn't a shortage of hands and feet to do the work. We just need to connect them.